Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be talking about my biggest takeaways from running the Boston Marathon so that hopefully you can feel more prepared and ready whether this is your first time running the Boston Marathon or you're aiming to qualify sometime in the future. This video is for you. So without any further chit-chat, we'll get started. I've organized my tips into pre-race logistics and tips, the race itself, and then after the race. So I'm gonna start right away with the bus ride. So first, you definitely want to make it to the buses on time because it's still gonna be tight once you get there to get to your starting corral on time. When you're on this bus ride from downtown Boston to the starting line, you are going to think that you're so dumb and stupid for running a marathon because that bus ride really makes you realize how long a marathon really is. It's just the eternal bus ride. So all I can say is try to be lighthearted about it, joke about it, and just trust that you've trained properly. As long as it seems you're ready to run a marathon. Marathon is a long way, isn't it?
It's really far. We've been on the bus for like 3 hours to get from one end to the other. Oh my God. God help us.
Yeah. We just got on this bus because it was a free ride, but the guy told us we have to run back. So keep in mind that because the Boston Marathon is a point-to-point, you will not have your checked bag with you at the start line. You'll have to leave it at the finish line. Everything you have with you at the start line, you'll either discard or it will make it with you to the end. So I definitely suggest wearing a throwaway jacket or sweatshirt that you don't care about. You're also not allowed to wear a hydration pack. So I recommend a waist pack, shorts with pockets. Next, I'm gonna get into the tips for the race itself. The beginning of the race will be the hardest as far as crowd navigation. The advice I would give is to not exert yourself and waste energy weaving around people. Try to be strategic, look for openings, and don't panic if you get stuck behind someone. Panicking and swerving is going to waste so much of your energy early on, and that is better used later in the race. My other tip for you, I think this is my most important tip of the day. You need to know the difference by sight and by taste between the Gatorade Endurance formula and the regular Gatorade formula. So in both of the world major marathons I've done, Boston and Chicago, they said that they were going to have Gatorade Endurance and ended up having just regular Gatorade, or they ran out of Gatorade Endurance early on, so there would be a couple stations of the endurance formula. Even someone like me who doesn't sweat a lot, I was doomed because I was not prepared. Gatorade Endurance has 2 to 3 times the amount of each electrolyte compared to regular Gatorade. So if you're planning for endurance Gatorade and you get half as much of the electrolytes that you planned for, you will start cramping so early, you'll fade so fast, it'll just be game over. What I would say is, even if they're saying that they'll have endurance the whole time, pretend like they're not gonna have it at all, just in case. I recommend filling empty pill capsules with salt. It's not the most fun thing to take, especially towards the end of the race. It gets to be like, blech, gross. But it is a game changer. And in the Chicago Marathon, even though I still did end up with some cramps at the end, it was a warm day. I took somewhere between 15 and 20 salt capsules. One of my other biggest tips is enjoy the experience, enjoy the crowds. There is no marathon like the Boston Marathon. I think it truly is the best in the world, and that's honestly because of the crowd atmosphere. The marathon is basically one big party, even though you're suffering. Basically, the entire city of Boston gets Monday off, and basically every single person you come across is gonna treat you like a celebrity on race day. So enjoy that, enjoy your day of celebrity. It's a fun time. The other tip I have is don't let anyone pressure you to try to hit a certain time. If you want to go for a PR, that's fantastic, but if your big accomplishment was just getting to the Boston Marathon and now you want to just take it in, enjoy it, and not worry about your time, don't let anyone pressure you otherwise. Just do it, it'll be worth it. I went a more relaxed pace and ran with my dad the entire time. I would not have traded that for a 10, 15, 20-minute PR. My last few tips are all now going to be about the post-race experience. The, of course, main thing is enjoy your accomplishment, enjoy the finish line, get your medal, get a free whatever they're handing out that you'd like. My next tip is, if at all possible, avoid the trolley system. We had the absolute worst experience on the trolleys. It was so unbelievably packed that my dad and I were both basically hovering above the ground because of how much we were squished in by other people. Truly horrid. We ended up getting off after about 2 stops and just walking all miles encompassed. We ended up doing an ultra on race day. And lastly, so for my Boston Marathon experience, I did have to hit the road the day of the race, unfortunately, but what I would say is that if you have a chance to stay the night, go to the after party, just take more advantage of the city with the weight of the race off your shoulders. If you can't, still enjoy the ride home, still try to have fun wherever you can. So that said, I have not been to the after party, but if you are watching and you have been to the after party, leave in the comments what you thought about it, whether you would suggest it or not, and if you wouldn't suggest the after party, then what would you suggest doing that evening instead? So those are all of my tips related to what I wish I knew going into the Boston Marathon the first time I ran it. So do let me know in the comments what you would add to this list. Yeah, let me know what you're most excited about, what you're most nervous about, if you're about to run the Boston Marathon for your first time. Leave a like if these tips were helpful. Subscribe if you'd like more running related content. And yeah, have a great rest of your day and peace out.